commercial? What? It's a good video. Where do we think I have my second ESP8266? The one that I did not blow up? Medicine commercials soon use, yeah. They're going to use Red Hot Chili Peppers because they bought the catalog, or rather, Red Hot Chili Peppers sold their music catalog for $300,000, which is kind of crazy. Prince's music catalog sold for, I think, 1.2 billion. Not Prince, Freddie Mercury. Who was that again? Oh man, don't talk about stuff. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. My brain is leaked out of my ears. It's called streaming. And it's when you hit play or you hit start streaming on OBS, your brain leaks out of your ear and you never get it back. Yeah, Queen. Ugh. I'm sorry to knowers of things. I am not a knower of things. If you want to know where all of my knowledge of things has gone, you're looking at it. This stuff. 300 million. I'm sorry. Yeah, not 300,000. 300 million. Even still, 300 million when you're going to be hearing your music in literally every prescription drug commercial going forward. 300 million does not strike me as a very good price. But again, just like I said, I am not a knower of things. I'm better at saying things that are wrong and being corrected by my chat. And then aggressively fighting chat on things that are wrong. Although you guys are pretty good at wiggling yourself out of a wrong thing as well. I said, oh, I actually meant something totally different. Do I have any ESPs? Are we going to have to rip an ESP out of something and then I might not have ESPs? Wow, this is a weird state. Weird state of affairs. That's the wrong kind of ESP. That's a different kind of ESP. What is that? I think that's like an IMU board. I might be out of ESP8266s. I think I've got one more, and it was the one that was already in the programmer. I think there might be one up here. I'm going to need to buy some, such as the noble life of a streamer. Proof of what I said earlier about having someone correct you on the internet. Oh no, I never listen to them. They're always wrong, but then suddenly they're right when I've been presented new information. Listen, I'm not like a lot of these people on the internet. I will change my opinions based on whether or not I'm correct. I thought I saw an ESP that was like chilling right here. I guess it's not. Once again, the streamer's wrong. Okay, so the other one, I thought there was one rattling around on the desk. There's the dead one. That's who I am in the group dynamic. I'm the dead one. Oh, here it is. No, that's the dead one. It's got a big X on it. We put 12 volts into that one, so that one's very dead. Yeah, I laughed once. Hated it. All right, last ESP. I gotta order some more of these. What is okay, hold on. I got a rogue wire. There we go. Last one. Better get it right. Okay. Plugged in. And then program. Where is my program? There it is. Program wire. Doink. No idea what this thing is doing. Let's go ahead and stop it from whatever it's doing by programming it. Oh, that was the wrong program. Ooh, which one is it? Spinny light. Spinny light 1 meet spinny light 2. 21, 2. Server topic, spinny light 1883. Robot name, spinny light 2. I guess they're both going to be listening in on the same topic. And if I want to, I can, you know, spin that off as its own thing. Yeah, let's just try it. Spinny light 02. You are go on COM 5. Bonk. Go on COM 5, spinny light 2. Spinny light 2, confirm. We're going to get a little handshake and stuff, and we'll be able to see TX and RX lights. It's my favorite thing about breakouts like this is that they attract all the dust and dirt in the shop. Why is that so dirty? Why are you gross? My favorite thing about stuff like this is they'll have all these little LEDs on them to confirm stuff is happening. So writing. Man, this takes a while. ESPs take a little bit. I don't think it's an annual license. Ports to reprogram things. So the fart box and the spinny lights are the only things that I got going. What is that? 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 I'm scared of that. What is that? Spinning sausage. I love that you can put those vertically on the burners in my summer car. I love it. All right, so back to soldering for just another brief soldering thing, and then we will activate one of our spinny lights, and we will hopefully be able to see spinny lights. What did I do with the ESP that had all the resistors hanging off of it? Wait a minute, where did it go? Wait. Oh, there it is, okay. So we got one of these. I gotta be careful not to bend all the leads. One of these that's ready to be standalone. Now we got to configure the other one in the same way. So put this aside. So it's not, it wasn't a Voodoo graphics card that I got this board off of. This is off of a GeForce 4? I think GeForce. But it had this big arching PCB so that it could attach to the front part of the computer as well. And I just cut that off and I use it as a work surface so that I can solder directly down onto the board and not burn it up. Excuse me, you guys didn't hear that. Usually I mute those, but my hands is busy. I can't wait until I hear a prescription drug ad that says, what I got to get it, put it in you. That'll really speak to my generation and make me feel like using Starfanaflex for my mesopresal global atrophy syndrome. Sky Rizzy, the Rizm com Rizza, my Rizza. Rizza, my Rizza, yo. Glizza, I don't fucking know. That commercial's so weird. Technically, I should put a 1K going out to the Switch. I'm debating about whether or not I want to actually put that on. I might decide to get silly and actually do things properly. These are not necessary on a minimized ESP8266 circuit, but I'm being nice and putting a 1K current limiting resistor on the pins that control both reset and enable. And then this one over here gets a 2.2K. That one is responsible for choosing what memory is selected for the program. Now, where was that little pile of components that I put down on the board, on the desk, rather? Here's the capacitor, 0.1 microfarad decoupling capacitor. It smooths out little transients, but what generally the decoupling capacitor is doing is it's decoupling you from the power supply, and that allows in the first millisecond, when this thing is coming up to power, the capacitor acts like a short, and then it charges up, and it acts like an open circuit. And once it charges up, it'll then hit the whole chip with system voltage at the same time. So at the beginning, the power supply is charging all of these capacitors, and then once those are all charged, they then send power to the rest of the stuff. You know, capacitors are timing devices. It's a certain amount of time delay that they do this with. And so the chip, instead of coming up section by section as your power begins to build, it'll all come up at once and function all at the same time. So that's what the decouplers are there for. And then they do a mild amount of filtering. If the chip happens to draw more power than the supply can provide, it'll have that little insulative capacitor there to provide it with that current briefly, although that can still lead to like browning out the chip. All right, and then I've got to find the 2.2. I took out two of them and I put them on the desk, and then I kind of forgot about them. And so it's possible that my wrist stuck to one, or maybe one's under the soldering thing. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff under there. No, I don't see it. There is one, it's sitting around. I'm gonna get one of these things working like immediately, because all we have to do is solder in the two leads, and then I'll have that active on the desk just in case, because I know my title, having raid in the title, is baiting. Any second now we could have somebody raid into the channel, so. What up, why not? How you doing? What is up? Okay, where did that resistor go? It's a very small surface mount resistor. Ah, there it is. It's right there. I found it. I found it. You guys could have been playing Dora the Explorer with this, or Blue's Clues. It's there, bother. I see it. With something as visible as this dead pixel. Oh, I should do that as an overlay, a dead pixel overlay. It's just one white pixel. Two, two, two. That's 2, 2 with 2 zeros behind it. That's mean. Well, that would be, yet again, another thing that I would have copied from Sark. One of his cameras in a certain resolution would have a dead pixel on it. And it was, yeah, it was mean. It was really very annoying to see one singular dead pixel. And it would be very easy to do. All I would need to do is to just make a scene that was clear with one dot. It would be pretty evil. All right, so for positive, I need to go. Oh, no, I didn't screw up. Okay, I was about to be like, I screwed up. I screwed up. No, I didn't screw up. This is fine. Out this way. And over. Here. That's mean, so you should do it. True, true, true. I could have it as a channel point redemption. Dead pixel. Good. Where's the cut 'em of things? Would it? Oh, it ended up back in the toolkit. Oh, there we go. I guess that's good enough. Good enough for me to poop on. Ha ha ha, comedy. Eh. Don't have enough room on the desk today. Now I've got that "Control is everything to me" song stuck in my head. Control is everything to me. I've got my symptoms under control. It's like, shut up. That's the way. Everything is in the way of my spool. My spool of solder. I'm glad I'm able to do this today. This is something I wanted to do on camera and something I like to do, which is physically building things instead of just, you know, hacking codes or trying to put together software that's meaningful. Actually physically using my mitts to put together a nice little circuit. I'll come back to that in a sec once it's a little bit more established. Actually, how did it? The other one had it a little closer up. Really, technically, it should be like that. Ew, what happened? Ugh, it's because the active part of the iron has shifted to the bottom in like a weird spot. So it's hard for me to apply heat. I need to clean the iron off. There we pokey bit goes down here and just ba-bam. I mean, said bada bing. There we go. Okay. All right. So then this is a close talker, and it goes a little something like this. A little further, like that. Almost an engineer, subbing for 2,800 months. Hey, thank you for the 28 months. I really appreciate that. Almost an engineer. I'm gonna make an engineer out of you someday. I'm gonna get you that certification. Actually, it's not a certification here. You just, literally, if you've just collected a paycheck as an engineer, you can call yourself one. Want to get all that plastic out of there so I can get solder in there, but now there's plastic all over it, not solder. Oh, and that is a Twitch Prime. Hey, if you've got Twitch, if you have Twitch Prime, you could use it. No. If you have Amazon Prime, you can use it for a free subscription to your favorite channel. And if it just happens to be my channel, I ask what's wrong with you, but I thank you. What's your problem? So if I hire myself as an engineer, I think there's a little stipulation behind that. I don't know. Because like when I was doing drafting work for like building plans, technically I was receiving a paycheck as an engineer. I guess it helps if you've got the education behind it too, the degree. But in a lot of countries, there's like a professional, well, even here, there's a professional engineer test, and it's like a little bit more of a revered title. But if you've got a degree in IT and you get an IT engineer certificate, then you can call yourself an engineer. I don't know. Yes, sanitation engineers to get rid of this stigma. Yeah. Was that ever a thing, or was that just the weed movie? The Dave Chappelle weed movie? That may have just been the Dave Chappelle weed movie that did sanitation engineer. Oh no, he was purveyor of the custodial arts or something like that. You know, a lot of the guys that Mike Rowe has on Dirty Jobs are actually millionaires because they own their own business. I am going to put a 1K resistor on both of these so we can put that to bed. But now we need to do this one, which is going to be out of just exposed wire. So I'm just going to take the same wire that I was using, just the scraps that are on the table. Just going to solder that down. Beverage quality engineer. You could be a Twitch viewer engineer. Yeah, there were a lot of programmers calling themselves engineers, software engineer and stuff. I guess that's true, but if they studied coding, is that engineering? Did you do the 101 class? I don't know. That's sticking up for some reason. Can you please just lay down on the table? What are you doing? This wire's pissing me off. The, I don't know about the blue tack. I may have to change to taping this thing down. Taping it down would, of course, absolutely hold it still. There are some people with the audacity to call themselves a prompt engineer. I read that too. I remember that. Mostly they just get laughed at. I really hope nobody's taking prompt engineering seriously because it's not a discipline of any kind of engineering other than the kind No, I'm not going to say anything. Just know that the words that would have come out of my mouth just now would have been very deeply unkind. Very, very deeply unkind. Too far. Dang it. Only I had a prompt engineer here. All right, there we go. Let's try that. Idiot engineer. No, you just said prompt engineer again. We already talked about that. You're engineering idiocy into this world. It's a very noble cause. See, that's the problem. I don't have, see, like stuff like that. I can't see it. So Pierre Robert was a very popular DJ. Listened to a lot of his modern rock and I guess rock, classic rock, whatever, and talk show guy, very popular Philadelphia radio personality, passed away recently. His home in Gladwin went up for sale, and I got to see some of the pictures of it. And that's a pretty decent house. I don't know why you would live there, though, because it was right off of I-76, which is the highway that leads into Philadelphia. So, I mean, you've got good access to the city there, but you've got constant road noise. It was a pretty cool modern, like, turn of the century, whatever, house, but very close to I-76, which is constantly snarled. And actually, I'll bet a bunch of the traffic reports he was reading, there are backups all the way to my house, is what he was thinking. It did not. It was mostly glass. It was like single pane glass all the way around, which begs the question, like, this winter must have been brutal to have single pane glass in your house. That's getting a little close to the can. There's soundproofing walls that can be built to block most of the traffic noise, at least in theory. Yet, no. The I-76 in that area does have traffic walls, and the house is above the highway, like on a hill above the highway. But the highway, if you walk in a certain direction north, well, if you walk north, it's the first thing you hit. And then beyond that is an active railway, I think. It might be the one that's sunk, but and then the Schuylkill River. So not only do you have the big moist river, you have highway noise and one of the places that the traffic starts, which is Gladwin. You always hear it's backed up to Gladwin. Oh, that bugs me when solder does that. Don't do that. Stay in a little ball. You son of a... Okay, all right. You asked for it. You asked for it. Now you get it. You didn't know you didn't want this. Look at that. The power of a little bit of flux. Remember, only a little bit. Flux is a sometimes food. What the? Keeper of maps! Just a wee bit of flux. How you doing, Keeper of maps? Yeah, just a little, like, just a little bit. It's a sometimes food. All right, that looking good? Well, it's looking like we did. Let me get 2 more 1Ks. I don't know if I have enough. Oh, I think I do. Since we're doing everything correctly, I spilled coffee on this bin. That's why some of these are stuck together. Some of the resistors are kind of clumped up together because of my coffee drinking habit. Ooh, I just burped hot lava. Nom, nom, nom. Okay, 1. I just want 1, please. Sir, please. Okay, 1. Later, Corsair. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Now, if I want to attach anything to this pinout, I'm going to have to jump over. But for this, we're lucky that the ground stops right there. Whoa. Control is everything. God, get out of my head. Charles. I gotta be careful when picking these up that I don't tilt them too much. If I tilt them too much, then it'll break off the components. That I am hovering over nothing. You're usually supposed to have a circuit board under it, but this thing doesn't adhere to 0.1 inch spacings, so. Somebody's really stomping around upstairs. I hear like methodical marching from room to room. It's probably my dad. He's never in his life had to be quiet, which is weird because I'm the type of person that knows every individual floorboard by name. I'm one of those that knows every single area to step in to not make any noise at all whatsoever. Because I'm a night person. Morning people, they just slam around, they throw pots and pans around and make you feel nice and guilty that you're not awake yet. And night owls just yearn for the hour when people aren't asking them to do shit constantly. All right, so we got power going in there, we got ground going in here, and then we have our signal coming out of there. And these are all of the configuration things that need to be set. Morning people live dangerously. You're not allowed to tell them to shut the fuck up in the morning. No, you're not allowed to do that. You can't. Night people, though, if we make so much as a coughing noise, we will be sent to prison forever. Oh, I just broke one of the wires. That's what I mean about moving it around casually. We didn't tin this one. That's our fault. That's on us. So I'm going to just tap it with the flux. Just a little boop with the tacky flux. Very sparingly. That's how we use flux here. We are not Louis Rossmann. We're not throwing this stuff into a sonic bath afterwards. We are like the night person of flux usage. The remote goes to bed with mom. My lad is like that. He can sneak all the way downstairs to watch YouTube at night without waking a soul. That's funny. That was me. That was me. I am able to do that. And then I stuck a screwdriver into the modem speaker so that it could make all of the AOL noises on its own. Even though there was an AT command I could have sent the modem to shut it up. I didn't know it at the time. Plus we had a Mac. So that made everything just that little bit harder to control. Not to use the flush cutters on that because it's a little harder to... Me running the CNC at 3 a.m. but finishing all passes before the cops arrive. That is a sentence that is wholly and completely unique to my stream. You're not going to find that anywhere else. All right, nice and clean. All right, now we can actually install one of these in. That could be me in a few months. Yeah, you're building that. That's a nice machine that you're actually building. Almost an engineer was like, maybe I can throw this together with some spare parts. And then he ends up making this like masterpiece of a machine. That thing's going to be awesome. Awesome. Sorry, I'm from the Northeast. And that movie that RLM reviewed, the bad movie about werewolves, I forget what it was called, but every time now that I say awesome, I go, awesome. That's just how I have to say it. All right, let's get this installed. These should be fully functioning, standalone ESP8266 devices that are both listening in on the same channel for commands. So this one will go in exactly the same way. I just have to be really careful when I'm soldering to these because these are no longer sitting on top of support. They're floating. I'm floating. Okay. Now, the annoying part is that I wish I could pull this away. I guess it's made to be put in all kinds of weird positions, but viewing in to get to those wires is the tough part. The controller arrived the other day, but the spindle's still in China. Oh, that may take a little bit. Yeah, they tend to do as such. Yet the steppers from the same seller just cleared UK customs. Now, that's pretty frustrating. Yeah, whenever we get stuff from China here in the States, it gets caught up in a building for like a month, the better part of a month, and then suddenly it'll be on its way. All right, so these wires are in the way. I gotta move those out of the way. And then my shadow is, of course, keeping us from being able to see anything going on, of course. And I'm aiming for this side of the capacitor without burning all of these wires, which is that's a big ask. Did I mess it all up? I don't know. I don't know what I did. I guess that's acceptable if all the